Let's go to Frank in Texas. Thanks for holding, Frank. You're on the air. Then we'll go to Truth Raider and others. Go ahead, Frank.
Alex, how you doing? First-time caller, very avid listener and supporter of the InfoWars and Prison Planet movement. I was calling you this morning to tell you about the police state tyranny I saw downtown in the heart of Texas this morning. I was on Congress in front of the Starbucks, waiting for my normal buses I do to attend the YMCA. As I'm waiting, I see two gentlemen on the corner, and something stuck out about them because they had on plain clothes, but they had on the military boots. I paid no mind, but I'm still watching them at the same time. And I see this man, these are the same men, and they walk by 2 or 3 times, but they're fumbling with a cigarette pack. So I said, that's kind of odd. And this lady comes out of Starbucks, and she stands next to me. These men do the same routine in which she asked for a cigarette. She lights the cigarette. I think nothing of it. 2 seconds later...
Hold on, I want to hear this. I'm sure it's federally funded. Stasi. Ask yourselves, what are you doing in this time of great challenge? What are you doing to unlock minds? Well, Al-Qaeda shakes Iraq with surge of violence. The U.S. and NATO are openly training Al-Qaeda in Iraq, right up against the border with Syria, to invade. Obama has admitted that in press conferences. That's how evil this government is and what a coma they think you're in. But meanwhile, they've got secret police all over the place. I see it constantly, who treat and act like the general public are all criminals. And these average cops run around like they're in a secret agent movie, actually believing that they're, looking for drug dealers and stuff, because all they're allowed to bust is very low-level retail dealers. Somebody selling very small amounts. Little wannabe thugs, because all the big dealers launder their money properly through the local big banks, and the payoffs are made, and that's how this works. But I'm just guessing. I don't know what Frank in downtown Austin was going to the YMCA. Yeah, there's a great YMCA down the river. I used to go down there when I lived closer to downtown, and he was like an evil American going to use the public transit to go down there from Congress. And so you see these guys walking back and forth that are in bad plainclothes outfits, but why not? They could wear police uniforms, no one would notice it nowadays. And then a woman comes out of Starbucks playing secret agent. Tell us what you saw.
Okay. So as she comes out, she's just an innocent civilian that's not even, coherent to what's going on.
Well, notice how you use the term they want you to, though. We're all civilian. They're all the military. That means upper class. They're all civilians, too. Go ahead.
Correct. So as she asks for this cigarette, she continues to light it. 2 seconds later, the paddy wagon that you see on 6th Street is in front of us. There's 3 bike patrol officers, and they're arresting her in front of Starbucks. She's crying. She's avid. They tell her... Oh,
it was a hooker? Was it a hooker sting?
No, it wasn't even that. So let me tell you, Alex, this blew my mind, okay? So as this is going on, I'm not trying to be around this or be affiliated, but I'm like, wow, that's sad. So I jump on the first bus I see and take it to the next street, which is in front of, which is going to be 7th and in front of the CVS. As I get out there, there's a man smoking on the bench. I tell him, be careful. They just arrested a lady down the street for smoking. So as he says that, he comes next to me and I start telling the story, okay? As I'm telling him this, the same man with the same boots walks in front of me, fumbling the same pack of cigarettes. I promise you, Alex, this man offered the man I was standing next to a cigarette.
All right, this is big. This is big. Get me John Bowner, Rob Dew. I want to send, because we'll break this nationally. I guarantee I can tell this is a true story. Hold on. I believe you. I'm actually aware of this in some other parts of the country in San Francisco, so now they're starting it here. They technically can arrest you for no seatbelt or whatever, and they do it now to get you enrolled, to get you in the system, to hope you do something so they can hurt you and then claim, resisting, because they want to give everybody a record. So what you saw is a new sting, and we'll go downtown and get them to admit it. We'll go down to the police department and get their spokesman. They now have a sting arresting people that smoke at the bus stops in violation of the ordinance. It's not enough to give you a ticket, and they send people up with cigarettes to try to then see you doing it. So I'm guessing what happened. Tell me what happened.
Let me finish this. Okay. So As he offers. The man did not even ask for the cigarette, Alex. He was smoking one of those rolled-up cowboy cigarettes as I was speaking to him. He accepts the cigarette, puts it behind its ear. As I'm telling him, be careful, I see the patrol officers coming from Starbucks down this way.
Wait a minute. It wasn't cigarettes. Were they planting weed on people?
No, sir. You misunderstood me. He was smoking a cowboy roll-up cigarette when I
know. What were they arresting him for? What were they arresting him for?
Cigarettes, Alex. Okay, I'm almost done. So as the police come, they grab this man, shove him into the glass of CVS. He's asking, why am I being arrested? They tell him, you know what you did. You know what you did. And I'm sitting there, I'm backing up. I'm like, whoa, what's going on?
Hold on, I got to hear the rest of this when we come back. Well, finish. Tell the whole story in like 2 minutes when we come back so it's all neatly done. No. Folks, they have signs now saying don't drink and walk. Like drink a beer and then walk, they arrest you. They go in bars downtown, and if you have a beer and go to your room, they arrest you. I mean, this country is gone. Stay there. Are we choosing our own destiny, or has it been pre-selected for us?
As we've moved through history, every great leader has had to understand the potential of information.
Billions of dollars have been spent privately and publicly looking at how to tap into your psyche.
From compulsory state education to the Hollywood media brainwashing machine, we are kept in perpetual bondage to the ideas that shape our actions.
When somebody obscures that feedback loop between you observing and testing it out and verifying it, they can take total control of your awareness.
All of this is happening so fast, you need to be ahead of the game.
How to engineer the opinion of the American people so that they would not only endorse but demand a war.
Oh, there's another one. Another plane just hit.
State of Mind, because there's a war on for your mind. Get your copy of State of Mind, the movie, at Infowars.com. And remember, every order at InfoWarsStore.com receives a free citizen rulebook. I'm going to tell you a very important historical story here briefly, and then go back to Frank in Texas, calling from Austin, Texas. Then back to other calls, and then big news blitz coming up at the bottom of the hour of news I haven't covered yet, and some important breaking news. The first laws that Hitler used to get the country to do everything he said was a ban, basically, on smoking in public. And they started it with taxes and regulations, and pretty soon you couldn't smoke in your own house. Hitler was a big vegetarian and also anti-smoking. That's on record. And so the first big Nazi laws were anti-smoking. And I'm not defending smoking, but now they're trying to even ban cigars and pipes and things that are obviously recreational. And then next it'll be alcohol and then salt, and you've already seen what they've done. It is the nanny state. But aspartame's okay. GMO's okay. Radiation levels are okay. The UN said 15 years ago, and we covered this at the time, that they were going to set the first global law would be a smoking ban. And so when you see these campaigns and they sound reasonable, first it's restaurants, then it's bars, then it's in public. I happen to know about cases in San Francisco where they go out with paddy wagons and arrest people smoking on the street, claiming it violates an ordinance if it's within so far of a bus stop. And, of course, they should just give them a ticket, and we shouldn't even have this rule. What the control freaks don't understand is next it's going to be their ox that's going to be gored. But, guys, do a search, Austin arresting smokers, because I don't think this is broken yet, and I can tell the caller's telling the truth. But it doesn't matter. We can blur his face if he wants or whatever. I don't think you should be scared of him. If they try any reprisals, that's really a serious civil rights violation right there. But, Frank, we're going to send John Bound out right now. Even if you're at work, we'll take you out there for 30 minutes, and we can pay your boss $100 to get you off the job or whatever for 30 minutes. I want to come pick you up wherever you're at with my camera guy and John Bound, our reporter. And I want to drive you to where this happened, and then I want you to describe what you saw so we have that. Then we're going to go next down to the police department. And then we're also, of course, the police are listening to this, but we need citizens, when you're on Congress and other areas, if you see this, videotape it. And again, just don't get within about 15 feet, and the cops can't say interfering with their stuff, but these are undercover cops. You know, they're not even going to bust the whores, because it's turned out a lot the Austin Police Department runs most of those. They've actually been arrested before doing that. So I guess they're not busting the hookers down there and harassing them. And again, I don't really approve of prostitution, but I mean, you know, the government is robbing and raping everyone. The government ships in the drugs. The government is on record doing all this corrupt stuff. You know, after we've arrested all the bankers and the globalists and they're not putting poison in the water supply and stuff, then I would believe a government wanted to arrest hookers because they actually care about people. No, the truth is they want to run the hookers and they want to shut down the hookers that don't launder money with them. And that's well known. How many Austin police captains have been arrested running the hookers? And that's just when higher-ups want to clean up the image. So I'm sick of it. And I don't even get on my high horse about the police running the hookers and stuff. But, I mean, you know, you want to get us in the system. Austin's famous, outside Austin in Lago Vista, for the woman at her mailbox by her house. You know, 100 yards from her house, in the neighborhood where you drive 10 miles an hour, just like my kids, back when I lived in a neighborhood like that, go in the neighborhood, they start unbuckling, they start getting out, they start jumping around the car. 100 yards from her house, the big group mailbox area in the upscale neighborhood in Lago Vista. But it gets worse. Her husband went on the news and complained about it. The Lago Vista police came in front of neighbors a week later, the day after he was on the news, and beat him up in his front yard. We actually got her and him on the show. I think last time I heard she was like winning a lawsuit against him. But the point is, he was a medical doctor. And they pulled up in his front yard and said, "You don't like art?" He said, "Yeah, I don't like it." And they beat him up in his front yard. This was on the news. So I agree. They should have lined him and his whole family up and just shot him right there. That'll treat him, you know, some respect. And I love the nanny state, Austin. I love $500 tickets if you don't, you know, if you follow a bike rider too close, but they can cut in front of you and do whatever they want. I'm going to shut up here because it took the end of the hour, that last segment and everything, Frank. But first off, recap, tell the whole story where they're slamming the guy up against the window who hasn't even, smoked the cigarette they gave him. I want all, and then you know what you did. Because, see, they have to play along, like when they arrest Amish for selling milk to their neighbors. They have to say, you know what you did. Like, what we're doing's normal. What we're doing's okay. What a joke. So, you see one paddy wagon, you get on the bus, you go to the next stop, you warn the guy. But before we do that, let me just plan all this on the air right now. Can we send in 30 minutes a car with my reporters to pick you up and do a news report on this?
Most definitely. I'm at the Westgate Regal Cinema currently.
Okay, you're at the, well, you don't need to say that on air.
That's fine. I mean, I'm here to tell the truth, Alex, and like I said, you are an inspiration to all of us, and just know that when the revolution happens, you will have the revolution behind you. I just want to tell people in Austin, simplified, if you smoke, if you give a cigarette, if you accept a cigarette, if you're smoking by a bus stop, they are going to arrest you and tell you, you know what you did. They are not going to read you your rights like they did those two people that I saw. And what's so sick about it is that they have on both sides of their bicycles countless number of zip ties. So the new slogan for Austin is one cigarette, one arrest. What do you think about that, Alex?
Absolutely. So I mean, go back and recap the whole story, and then I'm going to get your number, or tell us exactly where you're going to be, and tell John Harmon, and then we'll have. They're getting suited up and ready right now. They'll probably pick you up. Let's say at about, 2 o'clock. We're going to have the crew pick you up. It'll probably end up being on the radio tomorrow, the video audio report, because, we've got to interview you and then go down to the Austin Police Department. And then who knows, we may be able to catch them still doing it right now. We'll drive up and down Congress with you, but get you to get out and describe what you saw. But I love the assault. You're saying they didn't just say, okay, under this ordinance, we can arrest you, not just ticket you. They slammed him up against the glass. But start from the beginning of what you saw this morning. Okay.
I'm starting my normal routine to where I go to the YMCA every morning. So I stand in front of the bus stop in front of it's Congress and 6th, which is the Starbucks. As I'm standing there, these two men that, like you always say, the bug-eyed, the steroid freaks, they're real big. You can't mistake them. But what threw them off with their whole outfit was their military combat boots still on. So, of course, I'm like, wow, those are two military or police officers. As they walk back and forth through that little strip, they keep fumbling around with their cigarette pack, and both of their packs are full, as if they're wanting somebody to say, hey, do you mind if I have one of those? which I don't smoke, so I don't even, you know.
This is absolute criminal entrapment, by the way.
Thank you. It is entrapment.
And I know the cases. Literally, that's like having a cop woman who's super sexy sit there and go, come on, baby, just $5. Come on, baby, come on, baby, come on, baby. I mean, it's total entrapment. Please continue.
So I'm watching them, and it's weird because they're not even smoking cigarettes. A lady comes out of Starbucks. She's maybe 18, 19. She stands next to me and another gentleman that's on a skateboard. They have 2 half cigarettes already in their hands. The man walks by. She asks him, may I have a cigarette? Which I think nothing of, because I've seen that countless times in Austin.
And by the way, they don't even know about the little ordinance. It's not even posted in most areas. They just have guys, here, have a cigarette. Okay, sure. Boom, we got you. But keep going.
See. And so as she accepts the cigarette, there are all of a sudden the paddy wagon and 3 bicycle cops jump out like it's Pablo Escobar, El Chapo on the corner. You know, it's ridiculous. And they get out. And they initially turn her around and arrest her. You know what you did. You know what you did. I don't stick around to see that because I'm not even trying to be around them when they're in that mode, Alex. So I don't even ride this bus. I jumped on the next bus to take it to the next street so I don't have to be around that. As I get off the bus, I see a man smoking a cigarette on the bus stop. I tell him, hey, they're arresting people for smoking at the bus stop, which I thought that's what it was smoking. He says, okay, and walks back to where the CVS is with me. We're standing there. He's smoking. All of a sudden, the same guy in the military boots comes by, and I say, wow, that's weird. And he offers the man the cigarette this time. Would you like one? The man didn't even really ask. Or I don't know how it went down, but it was something like that. So he has the cigarette. Now the cigarette's in the back of his ear. He's still smoking his cigarette he had, which was like a roll-up cowboy cigarette. All of a sudden, the police are coming from the next street over. So I guess because he has his earphones on from the iPhone, to where I guess you could talk into it.
Sure. So tell us what he did to him and how it ended. Tell us what he did to him.
Okay. All that happened was they came up. I told them that you should put it out. They grabbed him, stand him up against the glass, put the zip ties on, and then I'm sorry, Alex, I'm distracted. They put the zip ties on him, slam him up against the glass. He's asking, why are you arresting me? You know what you did. You know what you did. You know what you did. That's all they said to him, Alex. You know what you did. And then finally, after the 56th time, he says, you asked for a cigarette. He didn't ask for a cigarette. I mean,
well, so it's a panhandling ordinance. That must be what it is they're tricking you. Oh, this is so abusive. This is so evil. You got all the people, just like in New York, the cops want to arrest the homeless that are on the subways. They have no other choice now. You see all the diabetics with their legs sawed off lined up there. Oh, so is that what it was? It wasn't the smoking. It was the panhandling.
No, sir. It was each. It was one of each, because they can't say that she asked for a cigarette and they arrested her, okay? And then they can't arrest somebody for giving a cigarette away, so which one is it?
No, I understand. So was it cigarettes or was it panhandling?
It was cigarettes, Alex.
Unbelievable. I'm telling you, it's so predatory. And notice they target the absolute weakest they can. And no one knows you come to Austin or you're jogging in D.C. and jog on federal property. They arrest you for jogging on the sidewalk. I mean, it's just a bunch of vampires.
Now you can watch Alex Jones live at Infowars.com/show.
You'll find links to all of our content there and a free 15-day trial for Prison Planet TV.
You can also browse the network, the Infowars Nightly News,
and over 60 movies and documentaries all together in one place.
You can watch the Alex Jones radio show live as it happens.
So check it out, Infowars.com/show.